Is that midnight office exit real or cinematic? The Faceless Salaryman genre on YouTube has exploded because it promises unfiltered access to a life most of us never see. The last train, the fluorescent office, convenience store dinners, a wallet with too few coins, and the quiet thud of a coat on an office sofa when home is out of reach. But how much of it is documentary, and how much is performance? Start with the good faith. Some creators are exactly what they say they are: ordinary office workers turning the camera on themselves. Viewers who follow these channels closely often point to long-running uploads, consistent routines, and details too mundane to fake. The way the badge opens a gate, the same cubicle from different angles over months, the commute that only changes when a project does. When a video shows a truly long day, the signs are familiar: a time-stamped train board, the sleepy rhythm of an almost empty platform, the hum of floor HVAC. In a building that's gone quiet, not every clip needs to feel real. Sometimes the texture of a life is its own proof. Still, there's a reason these videos hold attention. Pressure makes story. Even honest creators choose what to show. Edits emphasize scarcity and fatigue because those beats click. A creator might not fake the time, but they'll center shots and music that make late nights feel heavier. They might film 3 tough days in a week, skip the easy ones, and then assemble a typical day from the hardest moments because the algorithm rewards intensity. That doesn't turn a salaryman into a liar. It turns a diary into a highlight reel of stress. Viewers are part of this too. We click the thumbnail with a clock and a face mask, more than the one with a quiet 6 p.m. exit. So the platform learns to feed us exhaustion over moderation. The rumor that some videos are outright staged, pretending it's midnight when it's really 8 p.m, faking commutes entirely, inventing a job, floats through comments from time to time. But firm proof is thin. You can find speculation, you can find skepticism, and you can find people who are simply tired of seeing the same tropes. What you don't find much of is verifiable evidence that clocks are being manipulated, or that creators are renting offices just to perform misery. Most criticism lands on curation, not fabrication. Emphasize the late nights, downplay the ordinary ones, show the 1 week where overtime spikes, cut the 2 where it doesn't. It's storytelling pressure, not necessarily deceit. But in some videos, people have pointed out that the late nights stated on the videos don't match up. Viewers spot convenience store clocks that don't match up with the video timings. There's also the cultural layer that outsiders can miss. Long hours are a real part of Japanese corporate life for many industries, but the intensity varies widely by company, team, and season. End of quarter sprints, new client launches, and legacy systems that break at the wrong time produce true midnight moments. At the same time, labor reforms, flex policies, and generational shifts mean plenty of workers in the same city go home at reasonable hours. Both realities coexist, and the camera tends to chase the one that makes you hold your breath. The genre's visuals make it easy to lean dramatic without telling a lie. Night trains look cinematic. Neon on wet pavement looks like a movie. A convenience store at 1 a.m. looks like a spaceship refueling a single human. When a creator layers slow piano under that image, it reads as despair, even if the person filming just likes the quiet. The line between mood and misrepresentation is thin and subjective. One viewer's honest slice of life is another's grindset theatre. If you want to separate solid documentation from performance, look for patterns over time rather than single shots. Do commutes and office interiors remain consistent across months? Do projects start, peak, and end in ways that make sense for real work? Does the creator ever show an early night, a weekend off, or a mundane midweek dinner? People with nothing to hide tend to have more range. You can also watch for small tells that are hard to fake for long. The same worn backpack, the same co-worker silhouettes, the same locker, the same view from the same stairwell. Authenticity is boring in a way that repetition reveals. Another useful lens is money. These channels monetize attention like everyone else. Titles and thumbnails migrate toward whatever spikes click-through rates. Empty wallets, Missed last trains, all-nighter montages, I can't afford dinner. The incentives nudge even sincere creators to frame the hardest days as the most representative. That doesn't invalidate the pain on screen. It explains why, across the genre, the emotional curve looks steeper than an average month in any one person's life. Think of it as true moments arranged in a dramatic order. There's also the craft layer viewers rarely talk about. Color grading can make 8:30 p.m. look like past midnight if blacks are crushed and midtones are cooled. Lenses exaggerate emptiness by compressing a hallway. Shooting at frame rates that smooth motion turns ordinary escalator rides into dream sequences. Music choices, minor keys, slow tempos, piano arpeggios tilt neutral footage toward melancholy. None of that is fake, it's filmmaking, but when you're judging truth, it helps to know the camera has a mood dial. If you're a viewer trying to sanity check a midnight claim, there are practical tells that don't require detective gear. Train headways shrink dramatically after a certain hour. Platforms and carriages empty in a particular pattern. Shutters drop on specific shops at known times. If the video shows a departure board with an impossible interval, that's a flag. Street sweepers, security patrols, and last train chimes also follow reliable schedules. If you watch enough city footage, you learn the soundtrack of late night. Matching those cues with what you see on screen is a softer test than pausing on a wall clock, but often more reliable. For creators, transparency buys goodwill. Admitting when you bundled footage from 2 rough days into a single narrative doesn't ruin the spell, it strengthens it. Mentioning a quieter week doesn't tank engagement if you share what you did with that time. Showing a hobby or a friendship doesn't betray the genre, it rounds it out. And if your audience wonders whether a midnight exit was 8 o'clock with a moody grade, you can diffuse the question by occasionally anchoring scenes with honest context. A clock in frame, a train departure board, a quick note on why this week ran late. Ethics matter when workplaces are part of the frame. Blurring logos and colleagues isn't just politeness, it's risk management. Filming policies differ by company. Some tolerate discreet vlogging, others don't. The more a creator protects identities and sensitive screens, the more likely they are to be a real employee with something to lose. Paradoxically, the cleanest office tour with unblurred documents can be a red flag that the office is rented or the footage is staged. Authenticity often looks like caution. Pay attention to audio. Authentic late nights have a sound. The click of badge readers, the hollow echo of an emptied lobby, vending machines humming, station PA announcements rolling through nearly empty platforms. Overscored videos that never let the room tone breathe can feel cinematic, but less lived in. When a creator lets silence sit, or leaves in an awkward elevator ding, it usually means they trust the footage to carry truth without constant musical prompting. Consider the rhythm across an entire channel. Real jobs have cycles: proposal, crunch, delivery, exhale. If every week is crisis with no ship dates, no release parties, no manager one-on-ones, and no exhale, you may be watching a brand instead of a job. Conversely, when a channel shows a deadline week, followed by a slightly lighter week with groceries, laundry, and a friend's birthday, that arc feels like life. Viewers respect creators who show the hangover after the all-nighter, because most of us have lived it. The algorithm's fingerprints are visible if you know where to look. Thumbnails converge on the same palette: cold blues, desaturated greys, a pop of red from a train strike or a konbini sign, a digital clock overlay, sometimes a wallet fan of coins. Titles standardize around a day in the life. I missed the last train. I slept at the office. I only had $5. That repetition isn't proof of deception, it's proof of A/B testing, but it's also a reminder that the platform favors stories that strain belief just enough to spark a click. Representation has consequences. If you're watching to learn about Japan, a diet of only darkest nights will convince you that every office is a black company and every worker sleeps under a desk twice a week. If you're watching to feel seen in your own exhaustion, A steady feed of late shift content can normalize a level of grind that shouldn't be normal. The most valuable creators find ways to show a full spectrum: late trains and early finishes, cheap dinners and occasional splurges, tired eyes and small wins. When the camera catches pride in a clean slide deck or relief at a train made with seconds to spare, it reminds you that work is more than suffering. It's also competence, teamwork, and the dignity of getting through a day. Mental health subtext deserves clarity. When a creator shares a darker night, panic on a platform, a tear in a restroom, a voiceover about burnout, the humane response is empathy, not engagement bait. Responsible channels pair heavy beats with resources, or at least with honest talk about boundaries and recovery. Viewers can reward that behavior by staying for the quiet videos, not just the catastrophe cuts. If you want the genre to be more truthful, your watch history has to vote for truth. There is a practical path for viewers who want to check reality without turning into detectives. Compare multiple videos across weeks, not just one. Notice whether clocks and train boards match plausible schedules for that line. Pay attention to seasonality. Do clothes and daylight line up with the calendar the creator claims? See whether the narrative acknowledges the ordinary. Laundry, errands, dentist appointments, a friend's birthday. Real life has administrative overhead. If every upload is only cliffhangers and confessions, you may be watching a persona rather than a person. Creators who plan for the long game build trust on purpose. They keep an internal rulebook. Don't film confidential material. Never stage a crisis. Declare recreations. Protect co-workers. Show off days. Note context when a clip compresses time. They also accept that some videos won't spike because truth is flatter than trope, and they post them anyway. Audiences trained slowly will still show up for a normal Tuesday if they believe you. It's also worth saying what this genre is not. It's not a census. It's not labor statistics. It's not the definitive word on Japanese work culture. It's personal testimony shaped for a platform that rewards intensity. That's okay, as long as viewers keep their eyes open and creators respect the line between emphasis and invention. The best Salaryman videos work because they give the rest of us a feeling we recognize. The small victory of catching the last train, the cold can of coffee that saves an afternoon, the relief of dropping a bag by the door at the end of a day. Those moments don't need extra drama. They were always dramatic enough. If you came here hoping for a smoking gun, proof that someone faked a clock or staged an office, you won't find much beyond rumor. What you can find is a clear pattern. Honest lives made watchable by selective framing. The stories that last choose depth over shock, show recovery as well as strain, and trust the audience to appreciate a day that ends at 7:15 as much as one that ends at 12:15. That's how you keep faith with reality and still earn the right to hit publish. And if you're watching this at the end of your own long day, here's a final thought. The reason these videos pull so hard is not just curiosity about Japan, it's solidarity. You see yourself in a stranger's tired shoes on a foreign platform, you hear the same tired sigh, and you remember that effort is a universal language. Whether the clock reads 8 or midnight, the feeling is real. The camera can't fake that.